What up, y'all? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are back. The trifecta, the Halal Badboys. Mahdi and Coach Kareem. What's good, brothers?
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, that's good.
Alhamdulillah. Ooh, so what's been going on? Before we even jump into this, what's going on with the sudden obsession, almost near, I'm going to call it almost perverse obsession with red pill and Muslims all of a sudden? Where is this coming from, guys? Who's got something for me? Because it just sort of popped up out everywhere, and now everybody's just running around going crazy.
Coach Kareem.
From my analysis, I believe in the Islamic world here where I live, red pill is going to mainstream a little bit, like step by step. So people start, like Rollo Tomasi says before, like I will never want the red pill to be mainstream, because everybody will try to have a thought about it. Everybody will start to give their opinion about it. Nobody knows anything. They never read any half of page about it, or about any study, or about any science that we were using. And everybody suddenly they have, there's tahazzub. There's no tahazzub in Islam. There's no new ideology, new cult, as Muhammad Hijab would say, cult. I just discovered that really we're a cult. Do we have like worship ceremonies rather than our? Do we have another salat? What is happening, guys? So a lot of ignorance will start to jump on in the wave, jump on the trend. This is that. They know nothing. They know nothing. That's why I believe like everybody's jumping and these guys, they are saying what, blah 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 blah, and they're like compromising or confusing non-Muslims with Muslims. So you're judging me with Joshua actions. No, just judge me for what I says, for what I write. I have blogs. Go inside and read it. Listen to my content. Like watch what I read, and tell me if I did something wrong. So do not judge me by other individuals' actions. What do you think, Mahdi?
I'm more than anything confused as to what the issue is. Wallahi, I'm confused. What is the problem? We are simply talking about female nature. Whether you call it red pill, red apples, red bananas, I couldn't care less. Don't call it anything for that matter. We're just having a discussion about female nature. Some of it can be proved with evidence. Some of it cannot be, but it seems to be a common theme when you talk to men who have had interactions with women, and this common theme crops up. For example, women tend to suddenly become more necessitous in their late 20s, and they want to lock down a man quickly. Whereas men at that age, typically, of course, Muslims, we want to get married as young as possible. But I was listening, for example, to a podcast with Jordan Peterson and the roommates earlier today. And he said it, and he didn't even clock what he said. He was like, yeah, I knew my wife since I was 8. We were friends. They're the same age. And when we were in our late 20s, she suddenly really wanted to get married. And I didn't want to get married. I was like, bro, are you not clocking what you just said? Like, epiphany phase, right? Danger zone. She wants to tie down the guy that she sees going places before she, almost before her prime leaves her. And that's all we're talking about. So for me, I get borderline confused as to what the issues are. If you see an issue that is blatantly against the deen, sleep with many women, be promiscuous, throw it against the wall. Do you understand? It's like if you're a psychologist or a therapist, you've got to learn certain things in psychology or therapy. Some of those things might be against the deen. Throw it against the wall. Don't keep it, and keep it moving. I'm confused as to what the issue is.
Bro, I don't get it either. It's the strangest thing, man. Yeah, and I love these brothers, the three Muslims recently, especially Fayed, because I have like a more of a not personal relationship, but we talk one-to-one, or we haven't spoken recently. I mean, everybody's more busy, but to watch their current, their recent criticism on red pill and everything. I mean, it was just, I found it odd. It was like, they keep telling you make money. It's like, okay, don't you need money to live? Everyone's saying how expensive it is to get married. And we're always telling guys, get married halal, right? And then we're telling guys, hey, get your money right, get your physicality right, get this right, get that right, And it was like, there was a lot of criticisms in that video that they recently did about the points that we're telling men to do. Get fit, get rich, I mean, you don't have to be rich, but get your money right. How on earth do we criticize this?
Right.
Well, why is this a blameworthy thing? Where in the religion is it blameworthy to be? The Ansar were known to be well-to-do, to the point that some of the Sahaba were saying that the Ansar have bought all of the good deeds. We can't get any more. So I mean, I find these criticisms in general very odd. And then there's this automatic, like you just addressed it, this automatic connection that, like, okay, if you talk about doing anything that red pill talks about, there's automatically some sort of evil associated with it. And it's like, what, we're not Muslims? What, we just gave up Islam and we just went red pill all of a sudden? No, we say get your money right, halal, get your women halal, do all these things halal. So why all of a sudden does everybody lose their common sense and say, oh, well, haram, they told you to go sleep with someone? Yeah, when you study business in school too, Ahmed, they told you to take like riba loans in order to get your business going. Did you do it?
Exactly.
No, you didn't. So why would, it's kind of like just blinders. I don't get it, bro. It's really boggles the mind.
I'm trying to really genuinely empathize with the other side of the argument. And the only thing my mind can conclude is that the fact that there is a name, red pill, it gives the sense or the feel that it's a cult or an ideology. And I'm not saying it can't become cultish or ideological, by the way. Vegans are bloody ideological and cultish. Is it now haram to be vegan? Do you understand? If you want to be vegan, fine. Just don't tell people it's haram to eat meat and you'll be all right. Do you understand? But we can... the only reason that I can think of is that because there's a name for it, it feels problematic to people. If there was no name and we were simply having a discussion as men, oh, by the way, gentlemen, this is what I've noticed about females. Can you relate to this? Did you see this? And oh, by the way, the literature says this, but we don't give it a name. I don't think people would have as much of a problem with it. Wallahu alam. What do you think, Coach Karim?
Let me get this right first, because people just listen, but like just hear it, but they're not listening. Because he was even with Muhammad Hijab, and he said it by himself. But he do not really understand it. You can't attack red pill itself. Why? I'll give you an analogy. Analogy make things easier for the receivers to understand. Okay, there is knife. When people who use knife, they can do good things, they can do bad things. If this capability for the person who's using the knife, he have the capability of killing some people. When you attack red pill, you say, you just doing what? We should delegalize using knives. We do not sell knives anymore. Why, Mr. Idiot? Because somebody can kill someone using knife. No, you idiot. Somebody can do some food and really feed some homeless people in the street. Some woman can do some food for her young children. So there's a lot of good things that you can use this tool to get from. So when we say red pill is praxology, what is praxology? Praxology is simply set of tools to understand human nature and behavior. Can you attack the tool itself? Can I attack the car? I hate the car. No, you're idiot. You can't hate the car. Tell me you hate someone who drive the car, who kill some, like two people passing the street. That will be great. You hate this person, how he is using the car. But you can't tell me I hate the car itself. You will be idiot. It is just set of tools. How people,
are you mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested, ideologically molested?
Yeah. So you can't hate the tools, idiot. You can't hate the tool itself. You really can't. somebody used this tool by a wrong way that we do not recommend, so I will throw it in the garbage. So can you, like, even Muhammad Hajab, when he mentioned the 10 iron rule, I do not agree with all of it, but he do not criticize it. He just throw it away. Like, he have 10, this is being like an ideology. I can even bargain that it can't be ideology. Ideology, it should contain set of beliefs and regulation. And red pill does not have set of beliefs or regulation, and it will never have. If you have some regulation or prescriptions from one red pillar, that is not red pill. You can go to psychologist, he will tell you have borderline personality disorder. You can go to other one, he will tell you no, you have bipolar disorder. Why? Because everybody, how he's using the set of tools that he's aware of is a little bit different. So you will never have the same outcome of the red pillars, especially the big ones. They have some things that in common, a lot of things in common, but some things is not.
You know, I gotta see. This is what I mean right here. This is the type of stuff that we see, and I'm not answering questions, guys, not yet. So this is gonna come at the end of the show. But it's like right here. This guy Struggle says red pill makes you cold towards women. How? It's the opposite, actually. Red pill teaches you about the nature of women so you can love them for what they truly are and not what you wish they would be. It does the opposite. Now, obviously, there are people who go black pill, but if you are a emotionally and mentally well-adjusted individual, this is going to help you understand women. I dare throw out the charge that it's the opposite, that if you don't understand red pill, that you'll end up being cold and angry towards women. Because everything that you do as a man, the ideas and the mental models that have been socialized into you from television and social media and books and whatever else that tells you everything that women want, but really isn't, you're going to do, and you're going to be upset when your mental models that have been socialized into you by someone else that's not correct don't work. And you're going to think, I gave my best, and I gave this example in my life. Why isn't she happy? Why did she leave me? And like I said, you're doing English homework on an algebra test. You know, you're doing English on algebra, or the other way around, as you pick. You're using the wrong model for the women of our time, especially for the women of our time.
I mean, I think when the brother says red pill makes you cold towards women, look, for those of you who have consumed red pill content for some time, you're probably well familiar with the term red pill rage, right? And it is most people who, once they first discover the realities, the harsh, cold realities of female nature, that is in total opposition, as you said, Abuamerican, to what they were fed on Disney growing up, that can make you quite angry initially. You become quite angry, and some people lash out in a mild manner, and other people lash out to the point where they go, like you said, black pill, or what do they call them, incels, right? That can happen. That's on you, bro. Yep. You understand? That's on you. If that's how you have reacted, that's on you. You need to make, just as Abuamerican said, it teaches you to be able to deal with women and accept who they are, to not hate them for who they are or how they are, to accept it, make peace with it, and work with it accordingly.
According to this guy's logic,
and
go ahead, please.
Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Well, according to this guy's logic, we shouldn't. Well, I wasn't raised Muslim, but work with me, guys, on the example I'm about to give. According to this guy's logic, we shouldn't tell kids that Santa Claus isn't real. See, because when I was a kid, I grew up thinking Santa Claus was real, and when I finally found out the truth and Santa Claus wasn't real, I was upset. I was hurt. I wondered why my parents told me this stuff. I was confused. My entire world was flipped on its head. And it's the same thing with red pill. Now, am I mad now at my parents and Santa Claus and all sorts of other things? Did I just run around? I'm now cold to, no, it didn't make me cold to, like, I don't know, stories or whatever else or holidays. I was just like, okay, it upset me. But now I'm back to reality. Now, I don't think we should lie to children and tell them Santa Claus is real. Obviously, as Muslims, especially not. But, it's kind of like the same example, guys. You know what I'm saying? Please, coach, please.
Yeah. Like, there is Kubler-Ross, he's a psychologist. He have a Kubler-Ross curve of accepting the truth, of dealing with the truth, how humans deal with the truth. So there's a curve. The curve in the beginning, in the first step, people usually denies the truth. No, that's not true. No, that will never be true. No, usually they deny when they got the shock. They will deny it. Then
Right?
they will have they will have the rage. That's pure psychology. Then they will have the rage. Oh, that's can't be true. No, no, this is not acceptable. But how is that? And they will get the rage. Then they will get the acceptance. They will accept that it is truth. Then they will get how to live with it. They will compromise like their like and being harmony with the truth that they accepted. But you have to cross that curve. You have to cross it with every single cold hard truth that you get, not even from the red pill, from everything else.
Subhanallah, I didn't know that. What is the name of this? What did you call it, Coach Karim?
Kubler-Ross curve. Yeah.
Wow. Please send that to me afterwards. That's fascinating. That's amazing. It makes perfect sense as well. And actually, I wanted to touch on something, Abuamerican, that I picked up from one of your videos the other day. MashaAllah, beautiful. And I don't want to butcher it, so I'm going to ask you to explain it again. But you mentioned that in response to individuals who say that Red Pill is a reactionary movement, and then your response was, yes, what's wrong with that? And then you gave a beautiful example of the anti-aircraft missiles that have been developed in response to, as a reaction to. Please, can you, I don't want to butcher it, please can you explain it again?
Yeah, it's just this charge that Red Pill is reactionary to feminism, as if this is like some sort of, I don't know, damnation. And it just didn't make sense to me. It's like almost everything we look at in life is a reaction to something else. Well, we had wasp, and wasp would come and sting you. What do? We came up with wasp spray. That's reactionary to wasps. We don't get upset at that reaction, though, do we? You see? The anti-aircraft example, when bombers became a thing and airplanes became a thing, and the idea of dropping bombs on people, which is quite wild, became a thing. People thought, okay, this is a problem. We need to react to it. We need to solve this problem. What do people do? What do men do best? We solve problems. A problem arises, we look at the problem, we analyze it, we come up with a solution, we take action on that solution. Reactionary is not a problem. Human history is almost built on reactionaryism. It's cold in the winter. Oh, look, fire. Tree got hit by lightning, fire. Oh, how do I make fire? I don't have to be cold anymore. If I can make fire, I can be warm. Building fires is a reaction to being cold. It didn't just come out of nowhere. How many people or I can't eat this meat raw, I need to cook it, or I need it to taste a certain way, or whatever else. We've been reacting throughout human history to almost everything in our environment. But now all of a sudden, when a very hostile ideology pops up, aka feminism, and it's hostile to men, and it's making the lives of men difficult, why are we now surprised or upset that men have come up with a solution to it? Is it because it's women? Is that what it is? Because that sounds kind of like simping to me. Oh, you're mad that men have come up to a solution to a now hostile. If you want to talk about first wave, third wave feminism, that's your business. But I'm talking about feminism as we know it and we live it today. This anti-man hating hate movement. When men came up with a reaction to it, now all of a sudden it's a problem. Why? Because you don't ever see these same people talking about feminism, or maybe you do sometimes. I mean, but like this reaction, I haven't seen such a reaction like this to feminism, which Daniel, I can't say his name, Hakikatu, yeah, he called it right. Feminism is the gateway drug to disbelief. How many brothers have come to Red Pill, learned its ideas, and then actually started making statements of kufr? Because I've heard women criticize the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, his marriage to Aisha radiallahu anha, and all sorts of other stuff about the religion, and men shouldn't be doing this. All men are trash. We don't see like brothers out here making statements of kufr, and if you do, you see a lot of correction taking place. I've seen like one or two brothers say some crazy stuff that could apply maybe to the mu'mineen, and brothers have corrected them. Sisters will say the wildest things. Nobody will say a word. Reactionarism is just fine. It's just fine. We even have it in the religion. And although these are separate topics, reactionism even exists in the religion. So back when the Sahaba, or I think it was the Tabi'in, or the Atba Tabi'in, I can't remember. Now it's Atba Tabi'in, the third generation. Back when the Sahaba were finally had all died off, and people started fabricating hadith. What did the third generation say? Name your men. The reaction to people fabricating hadith was the asnid, the isnad. They were like, okay, you need to name your men so we can verify whether or not this is true. That was a reaction to people falsifying hadith. Why is reactionaryism bad? I don't understand it.
That reminds me of, because the Quran was not written cover to cover until after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, and I believe it was during the Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. That's when the Quran was actually compiled in a literature format, meaning cover to cover. Why? So that because there were so many different dialects of the Quran, they wanted to compile it into one book, one form that can be easily read from and referred to without it getting lost in translation or anything like this. And of course, Allah will preserve the Quran regardless. But this was like a practical step in reaction to the circumstance that had taken place.
I remember when you asked hijab. I'm sorry. I remember when you asked hijab. Tell me, like, can you refer me some intersexual dynamic books? He said, Quran. Quran is enough. Quran is enough. No. What do we say? What do we respond in Arab world who said that? Al-Quran ليس كتاب علم. Al-Quran itself, it is not a scientific book. It is book of hidayah, book to enlighten your vision. It is not scientific book. Can you get me the gravity formula of Quran? You can't. What do Prophet Muhammad say? أنت أعلم بأمور دنياكم. What does that mean? You know better about your dunya stuff, which is like your stuff that you're doing. And that hadith story, by the way, it was in the time where Sahaba was fertilizing the date nakhl, which is the palm date. They was fertilizing it. They said, well, why do you fertilize it? So they thought that it is an order from Prophet Muhammad not to fertilize it. He was wondering. So after in the harvest timing, they came to Prophet Muhammad and said, like, we don't have enough date because, like, you told us to not fertilize it. They said, "Antu a'lam bi umuri dunyakum." You know better about this stuff, so do what you know better. And what did God say in Quran? Does God forbid us to look into sciences and use scientific tools to understand human nature? He said, "Siru fil ardi fanzuru kayfa bada al-khalq." He said, walk away and do your research and understand and learn how thing works. Check how the creation started. And he says in another ayah, وفي أنفسكم أفلا تتفكرون. Don't you use your reason? أفلا يتفكرون أفلا يعقلون. Don't you use your reason? Don't you use your mind? Just use it, learn. Go and use the scientific tools to understand. So why are you shaming us for doing that? That's order of God.
Hence why I said to Brother Muhammad Hijab on the podcast, when he said to me the book to refer to for intersexual relationship dynamics is the Quran. I said to him, yeah, but if I open up the Quran, I will not learn how to bench press. The Quran cannot teach me how to bench press. Is this wrong? Is this now wrong for me to seek knowledge on how to bench press from another book? There's no connection, but it's not an insult or a slight to the Quran. You see, just as Coach Kareem explained, it's not. There's no connection between the two. It's not a deficiency or a slight. It's just two totally different things, and that's it. It's baffling to me. Wallahi, I'm trying. I want to understand. I'm struggling.
It's nonsensical. It's a nonsensical argument in the just period. What that is that's an attempt to silence you by using like powerful shaming language, which is like, now you're trying to contradict the book and the Sunnah. Are you saying that
it
the
is
Quran
feminine
is not
tactique, by the way?
Yes,
it's feminine tactique.
And here's
by
the thing.
Way.
Yes, and here's the thing. Jihad is mentioned in the Quran, right? Where in the Quran is the book of sword fighting? How to teach you how to sword fight? If you're going to go into jihad back then, do you know how to sword fight from the Quran? No, you have to learn that from another man. Archery. Yes, archery is part of jihad. Do you learn archery in the Quran? No, you have to fight, so you have to go and learn it somewhere else. The Quran is not a book. It's the book that tells you to go to jihad, but it doesn't tell you how to fight in jihad. You have to go to someone to learn how to sword fight. How is this different? Okay, obviously this isn't like something part of the religion, but in work with me at the example I'm giving here. So it's kind of like, what, bro? What did you, huh? You know, it's a bit strange. Brothers out here studying IT and all this type of stuff. Yeah.
Which brings me back to my initial question, Abuamerican. What is the fear? I genuinely, if you were in their shoes, what would your answer be? What's the existential fear here? What is it? Is it because it seems identical to feminism in its opposite form? Is that what it is, maybe?
No. You know what it is?
Really opposite form. Like part of it is a reactional, but as a whole, like red pillars literature, they talk about economy, entrepreneurship, investing, making money, making to be in shape, healthy diet, a lot of stuff. Not only feminism.
It is definitely based out of fear, but I don't want to oversimplify this to the point that it's. Bro, I see it in my head, but I can't verbalize it. It's a fear of upsetting women. Anything that upsets women nowadays, guys are afraid to mention and open their mouth. One of the biggest things that I have on my channel is that I upset women. I get women that'll come and watch for a couple of months until they get tired of me. I'm not afraid to upset women. But see, here's the thing. What guys don't understand is that upsetting women also engages their emotions, which they like also, you know. But anyway, this reaction predominantly comes from women. So I'm working through the thought here, and I'm trying to explain out piece by piece. Work with me, guys. Women are afraid in the 21st century because of feminist ideology to do something expressly and solely for the pleasure of a man. Red pill teaches you exactly what? How to get women to desire to want to do things for you as a man and please you as a man, which is what nowadays? Absolute taboo zone. And somehow the Muslims have adapted this, even though the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, spoke about how high the station of a woman is who, when her husband dies pleased with her, how high her station is. She can enter into paradise through any gate she pleases. Am I mistaken on this, Hadith? That's correct, right? Why are we upset about teaching men how to, get the best out of the women so that their women give the best to them? Especially we as Muslims more than anybody else should want this, because that means our women will be able to enter into Jannah through any gate they please. Do we have anything like that for us as men? We don't. There's no promise of us entering through any gate that we please. So you can use this to help in your relationship, which can actually help in terms of your religion. Now, we're not saying that there's a direct connection here, but there is a knockoff effect in the same way that if you learn how to make more money through IT or whatever else or online business, that you can use that to do good deeds and get a higher station in paradise, right? I mean, is my logical connection making sense here? So let's say you become an online marketer, you make a couple $1 million, you make Hajj, you pay for the Hajj for 1,000 people. I mean, it's the same concept.
This makes perfect sense to me. I just don't understand. And you see, Muhammad Hijab's character, okay, let me make it quite clear. I have not consumed almost nothing of Muhammad Hijab's content. I hear a lot of the brothers saying he's this, that, and a third. I don't know. Frankly, I don't care either. But the feeling I get from him is that he's not a panderer. From the few videos I have seen, is that he's not a panderer. So genuinely, there's a missing piece of the puzzle for me. What is going on? Is this not ilmun nafi', beneficial knowledge? Oh, wow, okay, mashallah. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Indeed. Dr. Abdullah says, perfect point from Coach Kareem. There are no tenets of feminism that focus on self-improvement. It's all self-victimization.
That's a good point.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's true. Well put, brother. Actually, I'm gonna have Abdullah on sometime. Dr. Abdullah. I've spoken to him. I talked to him on Telegram. So inshallah, we're gonna have him on, inshallah. So you guys gathered together some clips, man. We want to go over some of these clips. You guys got clips, huh?
Yeah, I got it. I already
just make sure you share the audio on your clip. It's not live on our screen. Let me see. Oh, I have to add it. So you ready? All right, I'm gonna add it.
Yeah, you have to.
More inclusive, but so let's talk.
There we go.
Yeah, it is. It is. I got bunch of like little clips because I don't have time a lot for watching all of his videos to catch it. But I remember this video. I remember this video. If you remember Mahdi, I told you when he said, "النساء شقائق الرجال," man and woman are equal. which totally so different context. You remember? He was talking with this feminist.
Right.
This is a US feminist which was in London. You got
ladies and gentlemen or something that's more inclusive. But
so let's get to the heart of it, right? Let's talk about patriarchy.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about patriarchy, okay? So for me, I think that there are layers of oppression, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not denying. I've never denied that men oppress women, and that's the idea of patriarchy, where you have men oppressing women or exploiting them in any system, in any given system. Okay.
Did you listen what she just said to him?
In any given system, okay? But what I find is a problematic.
She said to him, "Men are trash. Men are trash."
I didn't catch that.
Hold on a minute. Just give me 1 minute, Gan, and I will be back. I have something urgent here.
Okay. Well, anyway, I can address one point that he said already. You know, patriarchy is a system of oppressing women. Did he mean that, or is he explaining patriarchy? Because I'm not really sure what's going on here. Is this an explanation of what his idea of what patriarchy is, or what Western idea of patriarchy is? What does that mean? Is that?
Well, I will share with you something that I did pick up from one of Rolo's podcasts a few months ago, which I found to be very interesting. And he was talking about, he said, you often hear feminists cite the fact that women were not entitled to inheritance in the West, especially America. They were not entitled to own land and property once they were married. But he said, you never hear the reason why. Now, of course, this in Islam, a woman is entitled to her own land and property. But hear the reason why. And the reason why is fascinating. And I'm sure you already know Abuamerican. But the reason why was when a man married a woman back then, we're talking about whenever it was, you know, a couple of 100 years ago, 100 years ago, when a man married a woman, the burden of responsibility for whatever goes wrong with her property, with her land, with her business, with her possessions, she's not responsible for it. Her husband is. So he could have absolutely jack all to do with her business or her properties, but if something goes wrong, he's going to be the one to blame. He could potentially cop a prison sentence for it. So what did they do? They would put that, yes, he would have full ownership of what she owns, but that was precisely because he had full responsibility. You see, the two went hand in hand. So yes, that, and I'm not saying it's right. The Sharia, of course, is perfect. You see, but even in the Sharia, if a woman's business goes wrong, her husband's not going to go to prison for something that's gone wrong with her business. You see, if something goes wrong, she's responsible for it. So the idea was, men have to be responsible for whatever goes wrong in society. So with that being the case, they need full authority as well.
Yeah, men have always carried the responsibility and accountability, even for women. Even to this day, they still want that. You know, even though women are the freest they've ever been, they make their own choices and their own decisions. And under no circumstances am I condoning abortion, but women can now decide when children are or aren't born if they decide unilaterally to give birth to a child. Now, obviously, we're not talking about Muslims now. Then what happens? The man is on the hook to this day for child support. Even though he has no say in whether or not that child is being born, he is still given the accountability and responsibility for the financial upbringing of that child. Society will always, it will never end, always hold men more responsible and more accountable, including when it comes to women, no matter how quote unquote independent these women become.
You see, the problem is, Abuamerican, I completely agree with that. But the problem is, in today's day and age, men have the same amount of responsibility with much, much less authority to be able to impose that, to be able to effectively execute that responsibility in the first place. So it's like you've got all of the downside, if you want to call it that, the responsibility, with none of the upside, which is the authority. And this is basic. That's slavery. What's the difference between that and slavery? That's slavery. That's what that is.
Slavery. You know, and here's a point that I know will be brought up because I heard it before on this guy, what's his name, Kawamoon's channel. I listened to a few of his videos. I didn't watch all of his videos, but he was talking about how a lot of the things that brothers are complaining about are Islamic rights of women. And it's not the fact that brothers are complaining about fulfilling their Islamic rights to the women that they've married. It's the fact that brothers are required or being required to fulfill those rights. Perfectly fine. But the women are not being held accountable to actually now follow their part of the deal and their accountability and responsibility to their husband, aka his authority. You know, so this is the problem. It's not the problem that brothers, you know, get married and now all of a sudden, you know, he's responsible or he's accountable for his woman. No, nobody technically has a problem with this. I don't know any brothers that have a problem with this. It's the problem that he's responsible and accountable, and now she, because of quote unquote feminism, modern day, and this, that, the other, and we're not in such and such times. Now she gets a free pass to do whatever wants, how she wants. This, you know, these charges that people are making against, you know, guys that listen to Red Pill or talk about Red Pill, completely, they're half baked and they're half presented, you know. So they're giving partial snippets and statements, you know, to portray a bad image. And anybody who's cued in understands that on its own to do that is a bad image, and that's was part of my excitement on my last live, you know, that it's just like, wow, man, like what's going on here? It's like it really makes me upset, you know. Did you want to throw up one of your clips? I can take. Did you have a clip? I think you said
no, they were all Coach Kareem's. They were
okay.
Maybe you can take a question from the comments whilst we're waiting.
Yeah. There's a ton of. Hey guys, you got any questions, whatever else? I'll try and scroll through this, but you guys been going off in these comments, man. Inshallah. Yeah, mashallah, these brothers. Woo, y'all chatting it up here. This is fact right here. Okay, so this brother says feminism is a branch ideology of socialism, which itself is a branch of Marxism. I dare say it's just a branch of Marxism directly. You know, it just breaks right off of Marxism, all of which despises religion and labels it the opium of the masses. You know, I haven't really seen too many feminist positions on religion, but the vast majority of feminists in general, I mean, no, actually, I've heard their positions. Their position is that, what was it? That religion is a tool of the patriarchy in order to control women. That's what I've heard from feminists. You know, I don't know. Have you heard any Muslim sisters talking about this stuff?
No, but you know, subhanAllah, and this is purely anecdotal, but just from the videos that I've seen on TikTok, this feminism business I can see it leading some sisters to outright kufr. Like some of the arguments I see them presenting. I'll give you an example. There was one sister, I'm not going to name her ethnicity, but there was one sister on TikTok, and she's quite well known. And once I say this, you guys will probably know who I'm talking about if you've seen the video. And this sister, she's hajjiba, she's wearing hijab and everything. Bro, do you know what she was making a video about, Abuamerican? About female porn star rights, and how female porn stars are not paid the same as male porn stars. What planet do you live on? Like, what are you talking? What?
Well, I know Sterling Cooper. Sterling Cooper is a porn star. I actually know him, and he said they're paid significantly more than the men. That's what he told me.
Well, regardless, my point is that's not your fight. Like, woman,
no, it's not. Absolutely
where
not.
are you going? Yeah, okay, this is equal rights business, because the whole idea is equal rights, right? Equal pay, equal everything. So, but that's not your fight. Where are you going? Why are we? What? I'm confused. What are we talking about?
This brother here, I guess he's
sick in the mind. Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
Yeah, well, that's a strange battle to pick, bro. I guess this is one for you right here. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Could you please address the point Hijab made on Red Pill being reductionist? I guess that's from a conversation, bro. I was in Dubai and everything, and this, that, the other. I was visiting my other wife, and so I missed that whole thing, you know. And I haven't since I got back. I've been busy. Got a lot of good news. I'll tell you in private though. So I just haven't had a chance to watch that. So what was this about him saying it's reductionist?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't know what he was referring to. Reductionist meaning reducing women? I'm not sure. I don't know what he was referring to. I can't answer that. Maybe
I understand what he was saying. Reductionist, he means reduce the human being to a more mechanical form, just with instinct and biological desires.
Interesting.
He meant that. But we never do that. We focus a little bit on desire and to more understand the human nature, but we did not reduce it as a mechanical like device. No, we just take desires and biology under consideration.
on the topic of desire, one of the most beneficial things I learned from Red Pill content creators was this business of women make rules for men they don't rate and break rules for men they do. Now, in the non-Muslim world, that would be a woman will make rules for the guy that she doesn't have that physical attraction to, but for the Chad, the Giga Chad, the hot guy at the foam cannon party, like Rich Cooper likes to say, she'll sleep with him on the first night. I took that, and how I benefited from that from a perspective of us Muslims is those sisters who refuse to bend on mahar. If you are in conversation with a sister and she throws you a wild number, I don't know, £50,000, you know, and you've been talking for a while, and she is willing to lose you because you're not willing to pay £50,000, my response to the brother is you shouldn't be negotiating this. She doesn't have that genuine burning desire. It's the same thing. A woman who's scared to lose you will not fight you on mahar. Believe me. In fact, when she wants you like that, she will pay you to take her. Wallahi, she will pay you to take her. I'm not saying she should. I'm just saying she would. You see? And I took that beneficial knowledge and I applied it here. I can see the same thing happening. These sisters who are fighting you on mahar, it's because she doesn't rate you like that. That's okay. Keep it moving. Move on. Just move on.
Absolutely, bro. That is a fact. So, Coach, you want to continue with the clip?
Yes, Coach, get in.
Yeah. Just listen carefully. She's saying to his face that men are trash, and he kept silent. You catch that?
Exploiting them in any system, in any given system, okay? But what I find as a problematic...
She said it twice. Trash, men are trash.
We've missed that, Coach Kareem.
But what I find as a problematic element of the feminist argument, I'm not saying that you're a feminist, but
it's like I don't see you as
exploiting them in any system, in any given system, okay? But what I find as a problematic element of the feminist argument, you're a feminist, but I'm just saying that those are the...
like I don't see you as speaking for all Muslims.
What I was going to say, yeah, of course. But what I was going to say was what I find problematic about it is that what's not...
By the way, there is a point here that he accepts with feminists that men is oppressing women, and the patriarchy is based on that idea. What do you think, guys?
I don't know what you saw. I didn't catch that. What did you see of the Abuamerican? Because he kept on jarring.
Yeah, it was jarring for me too. I did hear her say "men is trash" twice, but I mean, the clip is jumping a lot for me. It's like lag.
Yeah, I guess we didn't reach it yet.
Identified is that there are different layers of oppression. For instance, yes, it's true that men oppress women, but it's also true that women oppress women. So, for instance, here in the
patriarchy,
and men oppress men. So, for instance,
No, but we're talking about a systemic problem.
Yeah.
Like racism.
So, no, I reckon
Black people aren't racist. There's a systemic.
There is
Is this?
Yeah, this was the first one that he already agreed that patriarchy is men oppressing women. And that's not true, even from a historical point of view, because the oppression was from layer of the society to other layer and crucified, like men in the let's say, for example, in the Soviet Union, men in the bourgeoisie, there was oppressing women in the bourgeoisie layer. There was oppressing the men's and the proletariat. So it was more layers. A layer is oppressing another layer. It was never about men and women. Guys,
I think he needs to be careful here with speech like this. I think everybody needs to be careful with speech like this, and maybe someone should advise the brother. I personally, because I'm Salafi, I don't have a lot of love for Muhammad Hijab. He's had a lot of, beef between us, and some of my brothers that I love deeply, from Shamsi and Abu Khadija and whatnot. But saying that, patriarchy is oppression, whatever else, we have to accept. And this is something that I understood before Red Pill. I don't even connect this to Red Pill. Islam is a patriarchal religion because it gives men authority over women, period. We have, as long as it's halal, absolute authority over women. What is the command for women? Obey your husband in anything that's halal. So if your husband commands you with something halal, it's your duty as a woman, Islamically, to obey him. Is that not patriarchy? So now when we start like dashing patriarchy, we have to be kind of careful. I'm not saying the immediate attack of patriarchy is an attack on Islam, but there's a lot of crossover here because technically, if we look at Islam, again, it is a patriarchal religion because men have been given absolute authority in that which is halal over women. We tell them what they can wear outside, what they can't wear outside. They're not allowed to travel certain distances without us, and be out alone without a mahram. They're not allowed to do certain things in certain ways without the permission of a man. What are we saying here when we start trashing patriarchy? We have to be careful. You have to be careful.
I watched a great video once. Actually, MTH was reacting to it, and it was just this guy. He goes out in the streets of Las Vegas and he asks these very difficult questions. I don't know where he thinks these questions up to random women on the street. And one question he went around asking random girls was, "Do you believe women have been oppressed in history? Patriarchy and all the rest of it." And they were like, "Yeah, of course, of course." And then he said, "If so, then where does the term 'ladies first' come from?" Something as simple as that. I mean, ladies first. Save the women and the children. Ladies first. If women are oppressed, why is it ladies first? That doesn't sound very oppressive to me. That sounds like actually we're prioritizing them, borderline pedestalizing them. Where does the term come from?
Historically, it's a dishonest statement anyway. Almost everything historically when we look have been done for the protection of their women, of a group of people's women. Yeah. What has always taken place in terms of oppression has been outside men invading or attacking another place and then taking control of those women and oppressing them. But in general, when you look at on average, the cultural historical societies, their women were protected classes to the best of their ability given the technology and whatnot they had in their time. So it's just a crazy thing. What they always wanted to do was protect their women from outsiders. Moon Climber with the 40, I guess, rupee donation. Barakallahu Feek. Read Rational Male Religion is ANS. Same black pill. Not sure what that means, bro. But Jazakallah khair. So yeah, I think it's just a dishonest, entire argument. It's a dangerous one.
Yeah. Let me add for this because he kept saying that you're not using scientific point of view. Okay, do you need a scientific point of view? Patriarchy is a social system prefers males and give them more authority in the society. That's patriarchy. The second type of social systems that is only theory, which is the matriarchy, which prefers women and give them more authority in the society. The third type of societies, from sociological point of view, is the egalitarian society, which is something like or closely to the society of Scandinavian countries, which is seeking the absolute equality between male and female. These only three types of society that exist in sociology. And by the way, guys, for who doesn't know, we invented the sociology. The Muslims invented it, which is Abu Khaldun, Ibn Khaldun, rahimahullah, Alim Ibn Khaldun, the scientist, which is Ibn Khaldun. He's the establisher of the sociology. So there's only three social system, and patriarchy does not mean oppression of women. It means prefer males and give them more authority in the society. Does that can lead to some oppression from certain men to certain types of women? Yes. Mm-hmm. But that is not the base core of the let's say hierarchy. Let's move on. You will love this. You will love this.
I want to just build on that point that you said, Coach Karim, because I love that you said that men being in a position of authority over women, can this lead to the oppression of women? Yes, power is heady stuff. Like when you're given power, you must be responsible with it. It can do, but what must be understood is that it is this way because that's how women are best protected in the first place. You see, because women are the more vulnerable sex. They are the ones who need taking care of. Between the two sexes, women don't take care of men. Men take care and provide a safe environment for women, right? So that's the way the natural order of things must be. Can men use that and oppress a woman? Yes, he can. And it's for him to check himself. But that's the natural order. So I do appreciate you saying that. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, but we have to be precise here and say, can some oppress some women? Yes, but can men in general oppress all women? No, that's not. No,
Right.
that's not possible for the collective human being to be all
Right.
like together agreeing for something such as like oppression or injustice.
Mm.
The humanity will never agree, all of them, for example, all of men to agree all together to oppress the whole woman. That will never be except in some feminist dreams.
Mm.
That will never be accurate.
Abdurrahman Jama, just to answer your question, Hijab, Muhammad Hijab said Prophet Muhammad ﷺ wasn't high value man in the debate. Yes, according to what the definition of a high value man was, and that's when we made the distinction between high value man and personal worth. Okay, high value man, there's a fiscal number that you have to put to it. There's a number, a monetary number, earning. Right, the Prophet ﷺ died poor. However, Prophet ﷺ had the ultimate trump card, status, social status. He's the messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Women will line up to marry him. You see, but if you want to be nitpick and go by Kevin Samuel's definition, where it's just money, which I agree, there has to be a fiscal element to it. By the way, you want to take on multiple women? Guess what? Like Abuamerican said at the beginning, you need money to look after them, bro. Like, what do you think this is? You understand? So, if you're going to be like that, yes, but that doesn't affect someone's personal worth. Dan Bilzerian is a high value man. Is Dan Bilzerian a character to look up to? Hugh Hefner was a high value man. Is Hugh Hefner, or was Hugh Hefner a character that we aspire to be? You see, just because they are high value doesn't mean they have characters that you should aspire to be like. We are simply saying that those type of men, for better or for worse, have access to a large pool of women, primarily because of their resources. It is what it is. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying it is.
Whether do you like Rolls Royce or not, it's still a luxurious car.
Yeah. So, you guys want to, you know, there was a point that was made and I wanted to make another point about it, but I forgot about it. But whatever, I'll do it at the end. I'll throw a little bonus piece in here for Taj. Please continue. You have another clip?
Yeah.
It leads everyone to believe that that's the truth, and I don't think
I think you're more critical than that. I think you're in for criticality than that.
Ooh,
He's used to
okay.
proselytizing. That's his
Yeah,
problem here.
right. And
So,
he's
okay.
a tall, handsome man who's very charismatic, so he can start a sentence with, the truth of the matter is.
The feminist here is flirting with Muhammad Hijab, so he will change part of the religion like next. Hold a minute.
But actually, it's not
Doesn't
the
work
truth.
for
It's
me,
your
Mohammed.
opinion.
Doesn't
Your
work for me.
opinion is that
My
what?
opinion is, I believe, I'm convinced.
I like that.
Actually, no, in
Right.
fairness, you have said, I think, I feel.
Yeah,
a few
right,
times.
right,
That's
yeah,
cool.
All right, so
Pretty neutral.
Islamically, right?
Islamically.
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu he said, "Innama nisa'u shaqa'iqu rijal," that men are equal to women. However,
Hold a minute. Did you hear it, Mahdi?
Yes, yes.
Prophet Muhammad says, "An-nisa'u shaqa'iqu rijal," that men are equal to women.
Right.
First of all, the literal translation, man النساء شقائق الرجال, it means women are like brothers and sisters with men. Here it does not mean equal from literally linguistic point of view, for pure Arabic. النساء شقيق, when you say شقيقي, which is mean my brother, شقيقتي, which is mean my sister. So here is not equality. You are forcing the hadith to get equality out of it. You're just trying very hard to grab equality of the hadith. Even from a linguistic point of view, it is not right. By the way, the context of this hadith was about, as I said before, if you remember, Mahdi, أحكام الطهارة, Abuamerican. You know, Prophet Muhammad was talking about أحكام الطهارة, which is الغسل. He was saying to women, when women see her water, إذا رأت ماءها, the water, it means that the lubrication, that means the ghusl is wajib, that you have to do ghusl to pray and to do ibadat. So he was speaking about أحكام الطهارة, which is if the woman saw her water, then she should do ghusl. So and I believe Ummuna Aisha asked him back Like, did women do this? He said, النساء شقائق الرجال. That means is in this particular situation, in this hukum, men and women is like brothers and sisters.
So,
They have the same hukum. غسل واجب.
so that's the
How
context.
did you grab equality? Yeah. How did you grab equality out of it?
Subhanallah. Barakallah feek, akhi. Barakallah feek. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair, Coach.
Right. Barakallahu feek, barakallahu feek. You know, but this brings us all back into this conversation again, which is why do they have a problem with something which tells men to be the best versions of themselves in all ways? Nobody's ever telling anybody to leave Islam. Nobody has ever told the Muslims to stop practicing Islam and give preference to red pill or whatever else. What has always been said was be the best version of yourself. Your woman gets the best possible man she can when you become your best possible self. So all those simps and white knights out there, you're trying to harm women because red pill focuses mostly on what? Self-improvement. And not only that, how to learn how to talk to, how to deal with the emotions and the ways that women talk and they communicate and they view relationships. It's telling you to be the best in all ways with your women. How do you hate this? Have these people not seen the rate of divorce in the ummah? Have these people not seen the rate of single mothers in this ummah? Why on earth would you not want something like this? Especially if that message is telling the Muslims amongst that, you know, let's just concentrate on you and me right now, Mehdi. We both came through our red pill journey. We both had tumultuous past relationships. We are now happily married men. We are a testament that this works and you can stay Muslim. So why are all the red pill Muslims that you guys are hating on and you're talking about this red pill, it's not red pill Muslims, this, that, the other. Guys are happily married and we're Muslims. Do they not think? Even the people watching this stuff, when you guys listen to these people, think about who is giving the message and who's receiving the message. You have guys out there that are red pill Muslims and they're happily married. Well, that's a problem. What? Help me, brothers. Help me understand how people. Why do brains switch off when the word red pill is mentioned?
It's that word. I'm telling you, everybody. It's the word. It's the word red pill. If there was no word, I really believe this wouldn't be an issue. There's something about that word that just triggers people.
You got that soundboard. You should do like a window shutdown. Just say red pill. And then Logic, you just shut off. It just does a window shutdown. Just blue screen of death. Allahu Akbar.
Okay,
bro.
You like the next part, guys. You will like this part because I was watching this particular video and I found there is shari'i mistake that he's saying, like very broad shari'i mistake. Like any guy here in the Arab world has that he is over 16, that he read few of shari'i science, he will figure it out like instantly. Really, he mistake. Which is about inheritance.
You know,
women rather than men. So if you have 3 girls,
You're talking about who gets the inheritance? How much inheritance?
how much? 3 girls get more than 3 boys, basically. Yeah, but then because in the Quran it says, وَإِن كُنَّ نِسَاءً, in chapter 4 of the Quran it says, وَإِن كُنَّ نِسَاءً فَوْقَ اثْنَتَيْنِ فَلَهُمَا ثُلُثَا مَا تَرَكَ. If there's more than 3 girls or 2 or more girls, actually.
Girls or women? Okay.
So.
Okay, I'll stop him here. Do you understand? Like, did you get it? What he says that if there's 2 or more girls and like 3 girls and 3 boys, the 3 girls will have 2/3 of the inheritance. 2/3 of the inheritance. That means they will take more than males. If there's 3, if there's 3 girls and 3 boys, the 3 girls, which is and he quoted the ayah. فإذا كان امرأتان اثنتان من النساء فما فوق let me quote this ayah to not get anything wrong. Okay, he was quoting Surah An-Nisa verse 11 verses 11. اوكي مما ترك فإن كان له ولد فإن لم يكن له ولد وورثه أبوه الثلث فإن كان له أخوة مثل السدس وصية يوصي بها دين آبائكم. Okay. Yeah, he is quoting the beginning of the ayah. يوصيكم الله في أولادكم للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين فإن كن نساء فوق اثنتين فلهن ثلث ما ترك. إن كن نساء فوق اثنتين, if it was two females or more, so they will take 2/3 of the inheritance. He says that in this case, that girls will take more than boys, because three girls will take 2/3 of the inheritance, and the third is for 3 boys. So they will take more, double than them, and that's totally incorrect. Why? Because in the in the same position as girls and boys, which is the children of the man who died, here the first part of the ayah applies, which is للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين. The second part, which is إن كن نساء فوق اثنتين, he said إن كن نساء. What does that mean? If it was women's, like there's no boys in the picture here, if somebody died and there's only women's, he doesn't have sons, so they will take 2/3 of the inheritance. What he explained it as, in this case, that woman will take more than man. So how do you like that, Mrs. Feminist? Is Islam is beautiful now? No, it is not. No, it is not. And let me quote here, because I got 2 tafsir for this ayah. I got 2 tafsir. Wallahi ya Mahdi, inni I understood it like by instinct before I get back to the tafsir. Wa in kunna, here he's talking about female. In kunna nisa'an. That means there's no in the picture. There's no males in the inheritance. In kunna nisa'an. But let me get you the proper tafsir here, because I got 2 tafsir of this, which is the first one which is Tafsir Ibn Kathir. Tafsir Ibn Kathir. And there is a story for it, actually. There is a story. And حدثنا حديث آخر عن جابر في سبب نزول هذه الآية. قال إمام أحمد, which is in إمام أحمد بن حنبل book. حدثنا زكريا بن عدي حدثنا عبيد الله هو ابن عمرو والرقي عن عبد الله بن محمد بن عقيل عن جابر قال جاءت سعد ibn Rabi', a woman who's the wife of Sa'd bin Rabi'. This is Sahabi. She came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam فقالت, she came to Rasulullah and she said, Ya Rasulullah, Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, hatani ibnata Sa'd ibn Rabi'. This is 2 girls of my husband, Sa'd ibn Rabi'. These 2 girls, he have 2 girls. قتل أبوهما معك في أحد شهيدا, that their father that استشهد was killed in أحد battle, in معركة أحد, شهيد, he's been شهيد, he died. وإن عمهما أخذ مالهما, and their uncle took their inheritance. He took all of the money, he never gave the girls anything. فلم يدع لهما مالا ولا ينكحان إلا ولهما مال. And she said, he left nothing them, and I need money to let them marry. So what did Prophet Muhammad says? فقال يقضي الله في ذلك. He said, God will give his judgment on it. Like, just it means wait. فنزلت آية الميراث, and this ayah, this specific ayah, came in this sentence. فأرسل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى عمهما, and he called their uncle, the guy who took all of their money. He said, أعطي ابنة عيد الثلثين وأمهما الثمن. He said, give the 2 girls the 2/3 of the inheritance, وأمهما, and the mother 1/8, and take the rest of it. So that's the cause of the ayah, which is 2/3 in the case that there is no boys at all in the picture. What do you think?
Barakallahu feek. Very interesting that you said that you got that by instinct, by the way. It sounds to me that your Arabic level is quite high level. Were you? I'm assuming you were you're naturally very good at Arabic, or you were good at Arabic at school. Your understanding of the lugha, I mean.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I read a lot about like tafsir and sharia, which is sharia books. I even when I hear somebody is quoting ayah, and I'm not like really understanding what is the cause of this ayah, so I open the tafsir, which is usually 2 or 3 tafsir, to understand the whole context of the ayah and what the scholars says about it, and what is the ahkam that they draw out of it.
MashaAllah.
So I got that.
Jazakallah khair.
Alhamdulillah. What do you think about American? He just bended the mirath ahkam, mirath judgment, just to let the feminists feel great. That women will take more than men. How do you like it, Miss Feminist?
Woosah. This is the Abuamerican hot button. You know, this is when I get hot. Listen, I'm going to say something. It's not going to be popular to a lot of people on this channel. Because generally another trigger word to people outside of red pill in Islam is the word Salafi. And I am a Salafi. And Salafis in the West have a long-standing battle and war with Muhammad hijab. This isn't the only time he has made ta'wil of the Quran. It's not the only time that he's made distortions of the religion. And that's why Salafis be staying on this dude's neck. And so already I just don't like the guy from the position of a Salafi. You know, and listening to him talk, and then, you know, hearing, or I don't even listen to him talk, to be honest, but just hearing his like misinterpretations, his misquotations, you know, his battles with Shamsi and how Shamsi ate him for lunch and whatnot, and how he's like distorted, you know, several parts of the religion, not only connected to red pill, just in general. And it's put us basically in terms of love and hate for the sake of Allah at war with Muhammad hijab. And people don't like Salafis for that, because he's got a big following. People love him, whatever else. People are into personality worship. But I say it all the time, and I'll stand by it. Muslims are passionate about a religion they're ignorant of. And Muhammad hijab can basically say anything he wants most of the time and get away with it. Like, you caught an example of what Salafis have been saying for quite some time. This dude distorts the religion as he sees fit to make whatever point he wants. And that's why we've been at war for him for a long time. So this didn't surprise me that, you know, some of the stuff I heard him say, and hearing this now also doesn't surprise me, because this is what this guy's been on that I know about since I ever heard his name, from day one. So people can hate me for that. I don't care. That's what we've been on from day one. We're going to stay on that until the brother, you know, retracts some of his crazy statements that he made. Okay, Moon Qamar, thank you for the 100 rupee super chat. Read the book Rational Male. Oh, it's a correction of your earlier statement. Okay, religion. It answers why any women of any religion are communitarian for sisterhood, womankind above all. Same as Black Pill. Jazakallah khair. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. I have the book on audio, but I have like 3 books that I bought at once, and so I started listening to another one first. I need to listen to that book. I'm mentioned in that book, actually. So if you look in Red Pill and Religion by Rollo Tomasi, I'm actually mentioned in the book. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Coach Kareem, I can see you wanted to play a clip from our debate. Go for it.
Yeah. He was misleading. I don't know if he was just misquote or purposely lying about the study of Dr. Nicholas Wolfinger. If you remember, we already mentioned that in a podcast, me and you, Mahdi. Yes, and I quoted him like literally saying that, okay, we will come to it. Hold on a minute.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam about this then. In the hadith where he said, marry the virgin women, for their mouths are sweeter, their wombs are more fertile, and they are more content with what is little. Content with what is little. That's in perfect harmony with what we can see in the research.
Hadith Hassanahu al-Albani. Albani Hassan. Others have considered it daif, weak. And I'll tell you
okay.
Hold a minute, Muhammad Hijab. You're eating peanuts and saying this hadith is Sahahahu al-Albani, and the rest, and some scholars says it is da'if. That's false. First of all, yeah, there is some scholars said it is da'if. But to throw the whole hadith in the garbage, which one of the most respected scholars in hadith says it is Hasan bijami'i turuqih, which is there is several riwayah of this hadith. When you look to the whole context, Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah, he said it is Hasan. And by the way, all the scholars who criticize it, I'm not talking about the rest, I'm talking about who criticize it. They criticize the chain of tiller. Some of them, like some of them was not like not 100%, but there's no single scholar that talk anything about the context. There is sanad, there is matan. Sanad, which is the chain of tillers. عن أبي فلان عن أبي فلان عن أبي فلان, which is the series of the tillers, the sequence of the tillers, right? And there is the context of the hadith, which is
Right.
like the context of the hadith. The context of the hadith, all of the Islamic scholars agree on. There is no single one says anything wrong about it or anyone criticize it. They all actually there are some scholars says ولا يخفى على عاقل بأن البكر أفضل من الثيب, which is mean there is no one with reason that will say sells than bikr is better than thayyib. There's no one with reason. This is very harsh word. There's no one with reason, with simple like understanding, with small mind will say anything else. So you can't throw hadith in the garbage while some scholars say it is Hasan, and the context is totally agreed on. And there's another hadith that he drew something else totally opposite what the scholars were saying, which is Hadith ibn Jabir. If you remember, Hadith ibn Jabir, he says هلا ببكرا تلاعبها وتلاعبك. When Sayyidina Jabir come told Prophet Muhammad that I got married. What was the first question about American? The first question was Tayyib. She's Bikr or Tayyib?
Yeah.
And he told him no, it is Tayyib. It is Tayyib. He asked him back, فهلا, which was istifsar, which was explanatory question. So he was asking, why don't you marry to Bikr? Why didn't you choose Bikr? And then he explained the exception situation that his excuse, which is I have some sisters and my father dies and I need someone to take care of him and this blah blah blah. So he was explaining why he didn't marry Bikr. And by the way, ulama al-hadith says, which is the scholars that explained this hadith, they said exactly that لأن البكر أفضل. They said because the bikr is better. That was so clear. The scholars explain it as that. They said لأن البكر أفضل. That's why Prophet Muhammad asked him back, why don't you get bikr يا أخي? So لأن البكر أفضل, because the bikr was أفضل. Now go ahead, Abuamerican.
No, I'm just asking how you guys are on time. We're on hour 13 minutes.
I'm good. I've got 15 minutes though. I'm actually enjoying learning from Coach Karim right now.
Cool. So what do you say we address some of these comments in the comment section? We got an interesting one here that I really like to go over. What do you guys say? So this guy here, let me see if I can find the comment. Mikael too. He says that red pill is training hypergamy. It's a very interesting perspective. So basically, I can't find the comment, but basically, and Mikhail, you're here in the comments, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. He's saying basically that because we're telling men to make more money and be the best, particular part of themselves, that this is training hypergamy in the sense that women always go for better and the best. And so now, since you're teaching men to become the better and the best, it's now training women to always go for the better and the best. So, Mikhail, I throw to you two things. First off, if you ever watched my channel, then you would know that I say that you do everything that you do in terms of self-improvement for yourself. You don't do it for a woman. A woman is simply the reward of doing this stuff for yourself. That reward is for you. She gets the best partner she possibly can because you built that for you. But you are not doing this for a woman under no circumstances. Because when you get paid, the fast car or motorcycle, whatever you want to buy, all those toys for the boys are for you. The big fat house, that's for you. All that stuff that you love is for you. You do that for you. Now, what does she get? She gets a great guy. What's wrong with that? When we stop and think about what you're saying in terms of hypergamy, and hypergamy, listen, and Mikhail, understand this. Under no circumstances is hypergamy a bad thing. Unchecked hypergamy is a horrible thing. Now, what we are suffering from in the Western society right now is unchecked hypergamy. Hypergamy has no stops and no limits on
open hypergamy.
This is open. It's not only open, it's just unchecked now. Nobody's trying to even stop it. Nobody's even trying to slow it down. Islam, alhamdulillah, and you alluded to this, is that Sharia puts a stopgap on hypergamy. Absolutely agree, but that doesn't stop sisters right now from asking dudes for 50,000 mahar, even though there's no precedence in the sunnah for this. That's hypergamy. But let's come back to your argument. So teaching men red pill to be the best that they can be trains hypergamy. So your solution is, let's all live in our basements, work as fry cooks at McDonald's, and we live in our parents' basement. Is that the solution? If that's the solution, why do so many parents, especially ethnic parents, tell their sons to be doctors, be engineers, be lawyers, be this, be that? There's so much just contradiction in your statements here. It doesn't make sense. So what? Don't be the best that you can be? Because and Matthew alluded to something else. It's true. Social status. So even if you're not the best that you can be in terms of the dunya, which I think you should do the best that you can be in the dunya, let's say, and you should be the best that you can be Islamically, let's say you do that too. That's still going to gain you social status. Like the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, he had social status. And then when he became the Messenger of Allah, boom, it went even higher. So if you are a highly religious practicing brother, you are going to gain status religiously. Whether what you do with that is a different thing. If you let that become some sort of like type of, problem for you in your religion, that's a different story. But let's just say, alhamdulillah, you're a practicing brother, you're doing the best that you can, this, that, the other, and you're not letting any sort of riyah get into your heart. You still gain status from being highly religious. Do we now stop being highly religious because we will become in demand by women who want a religious man? Bro, the entire foundation of your logic is completely faulted. Being the best Muslim you can then trains hypergamy. Because let's go back. Let's unchecked hypergamy is gone. Islam is the rule. Hypergamy is checked. You become the best Muslim you're supposed to be. You're supposed to marry the most religious person. How is that not hypergamy? She wants the best religious man. Isn't that hypergamy?
Very good. This is what you've just mentioned. You've just identified, and I'm quoting Rolo again, that hypergamy is not a straitjacket. Hypergamy concerns many different elements. This is one of them here that you've just mentioned, that you should marry. All right, imagine you had a daughter, ya akhi, and two brothers come to you, okay? All other things being equal, except that one brother appears to be, mashallah, his iman is stronger, he knows more about the deen, he's hafid al-Quran. The other one, he's a good brother, nothing wrong with him, but this first one, he's just got more of the deen. Who are you going to give your daughter to? All other things being equal. That's also a hypergamous decision as well. You see? Or are you telling us that we should all have just basic, alhamdulillah, no sort of fatiha, and that's it, mashallah, get by? You see? This reminds me of a statement that you made, Abuamerican, a while back, which was, those who don't want to compete, complain. And I don't know whether this brother is complaining or not, but it reminds me of that statement. Those who don't want to compete, complain.
Yep. But and he's making a statement here.
You know what? Like guys complaining.
Oh, go ahead. Please.
Guys complaining about hypergamy or understanding hypergamy. It is like complaining about the dog barking, complaining about the planet rotating. It will keep rotate, and the dog will keep barking. That's their nature. Really, the earth will keep rotating. I don't like it to be rotating. It will keep rotating. You like it, you don't like it, live with it. Really, you cannot. If I found out, like I woke up and I found it is like 40 degree. and I will keep. It is very hot. It is very hot. It will be hot. Deal with it. Deal with it. Understand how to deal with it. Be better equipped how to deal with it. Get some tools to deal with it. But if you keep complaining, you will stay. You will be like the baby crying because you did not give him the Mercedes key. So what?
Okay, this is a good
Understand
one.
it. Be better yourself.
Even Ali brings a good point here. He says, but Islam already encourages the men to be the best in the dunya and have high ambitions. This is what the Sahaba were about. So why do we need red pill? This is a good point. Mahdi, you want to lead this one?
Yeah, sure. Because yes, okay, that's true, but that's one side of red pill. You see, there's multiple elements to this red pill thing, and one of those elements, which I am very much interested in, is understanding female nature. Understand why women do the things they do. So whilst I would agree with you that being the best version of yourself and so on is something that the religion promotes, I agree with you. But this next element now, understanding female nature, that's a different thing completely. You see, and you can take benefit from that.
Yeah. Well, why do you think, guys?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. There's a lag between me and you around 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Why do you think, guys, that I have clients that they book sessions with me? They have two wives with several daughters that they are having problem dealing with their wife. And by the way, they have PhD in Sharia. What such person will call me to understand something? Why? He memorized Quran, all of it, from the first verse to the last verse. Why do you think he's having problem with his two women? Why?
That's deep.
Indeed.
Yeah,
and
that's very deep.
And Ibn Ali, you have to understand something also. What are the reasons why I don't know if a man needs red pill. I don't know if he needs it. I think it's an advantage. I think it gives men an advantage, and I don't know why on earth you wouldn't want an unfair advantage in this day and age. But different conversation. One of the reasons why a man, let's say, should learn red pill, don't engross yourself in it. That's what our religion is for. But one of the reasons why you should learn it is because we are not the men of the past. We are not the Sahaba. You see, the Sahaba were men who would go out and literally butcher other men. And I don't mean that, don't take butcher as a bad thing. They fought Fisibilillah in jihad, but they would take a sword, get up and personal in a man's face, and when he cut it, it would look like that piece of steak or chicken on the counter. Then he would go home to his wife. And for the first time ever, they were told to be kind with them, to help them, do this, do that. Now imagine what kind of men those were to those women. He's a man of extreme power. He went out, he comes home to his wife, blood-soaked clothes, sword with still chunks. And if you've ever cut something with a knife or a sword, you know that chunks of meat can hang off of it of his enemies. And this guy's being affectionate and loving to his woman because the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, told him to. This is a man who is kind from a position of power and strength. Today, men are just nice and kind, and you have no strength. It doesn't fulfill what she desires from a man, which is a dangerous man. Believe it or not, these sisters will deny it to the point that they would cut themselves open from the navel to the throat with a dull spoon. They want a dangerous man. They don't want you to be dangerous to her, but they want a man who can protect her. They want a man who is dangerous. What have we been telling you? Go learn to fight. I tell brothers almost every show I get on, go get into a fighting sport. You know why? Because she loves that. You are a man of power, and then you come home and you're caressing her and you kiss her on the forehead. She loves that stuff. This guy will go out and he'll jujitsu box terror. Anybody who looks at me and my family cross-eyed, he'll rip them a new one. Quite literally. Bro, these are the things that you come to understand through red pill. Why do men, the Muslims of today, not make that connection? You don't make that connection. That the Sahaba were also quite brutal. And we don't mean this in a bad way. We're not criticizing by saying this term brutal. It was a necessity of their time, and it is not one of our time. We are in the time of weak men. They were strong men.
Barakallah.
So I'm not saying Islam doesn't apply, but you have to have your strength. And most of you brothers don't.
This reminds me of the whole palaver that came out a few months back when Mufti Menk was teaching men how to knit online. And I think I don't remember if you did something on this, but I remember Brother Gabriel doing something on this, and he made a valid point, and that was, look, if we were out like killing Romans by day and then coming home at night, and that's one thing, you see, because there is actually a term called blood drunk, which is when men go to war, and it's something that they do regularly enough. Eventually, they can become uncivilized, literally uncivilized. And the way they would re-civilize men is by, so he's come home from war, he's killed a lot of men, he comes back, he spends time with the sheep or with soft things. Why? To soften him a bit again, to bring him back down, to remove that blood drunk state. It's like I can't relate to it, I've never been to war, but it's an intoxicating state, and you need to be removed from it by doing soft, simple things, but that was on the condition of my man was flipping slaying during the daytime. We here in the West, mashallah, the only thing we're slaying is these things on Fortnite or whatever else it is kind of playing these days. Do you understand? So when we're promoting this, we're only making ourselves even softer. We're not in that rough and ready state. We're not there. So when you start peddling this other softer stuff, we just become like marshmallows.
Yeah.
I just remember. Yeah, I just remember when you was talking about the Sahaba. There's hadith and Sayyidina Umar. He was talking about Ahl al-Madina, which is the Medina prophet, Medina people. He said he mentioned something about when they was being in Mecca, and then when they came to Medina, said about Ahl al-Madina تغلبهم نساؤهم, which like their women have they argue with them. So تغلبهم, it means defeat, to defeat. غلبه بالحرب, which is mean he defeated him. Do you know why he said that أهل المدينة, which is Sahaba in Medina, was تغلبهم نساءهم, was their woman was defeating them? Do you know what is the story? He was not liking it. Because they argue before they obey the order, before they do the order. That like you have to do this. So she will like talk for 2 minutes and she will do this. He was considering this weakness. He said, تغلبهم نساءهم. Like, why? This is not acceptable. We've never been like that, he said.
Wow.
Okay, this one's aimed at me.
If he was in our era, what he will say?
So this one's aimed at me, but about you. Abuamerican, I went to Red Pill Arabic and he gave dating advice. Does he not know that dating is haram? I date my wives. I date my wives. What are you talking about? You can't give dating advice? You have to date your wife. You have to. It doesn't stop. You what? You just get married and that's it? Now you're chilling at the house and that's it? Bro, your wife's going to leave you.
He's talking about me?
I think so. I don't know. He said Red Pill Arabic gives dating advice.
Yeah, you told me that I'm giving dating advice.
That's the comment. Please? I'm reading the comment, but he's addressing me, and I'm saying I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't get a lot of time to consume everybody else's content. My response is date your wife. Don't you do that? I have 2 wives. I date them. You know why? Because I love my wives, and I think they deserve good. They do good for me. I think they deserve good. I have to appeal to their feminine side, what they need. Now, is this the details of dating or whatever else? Your wife. It's a different story, but I date my wives. So why wouldn't that be relevant information to Muslims?
Yeah, but I never give date advice.
Well, there
you
go.
Can't find even single article that I give. People was there is some young man was begging me, actually, like in the last 2 years, now and then, to tell them something about the pickup artist. There is some echo, guys.
Yeah.
There is some echo. Yeah. So I never said anything about dating advising.
I'm not surprised, Coach Kareem, because you know what? People say all sorts of stuff. People love lying on the internet. I don't know if this brother's lying on you. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. Maybe he has a different channel confused. I don't want to call him a liar. But one brother said that mycowife.com has naked women on it and nudity. And it's literally a landing page with not a single picture on it. This dude literally said that in the Kawamoon comment section of a video. So people they will say anything to try and just smear you.
I haven't done this internet thing anywhere near as long as you, Abuamerican. I don't know how long you've been doing it for, Coach Kareem. But in my short experience and time, especially doing this YouTube gig, is that people will say whatever the hell they feel like saying, whether they can back it up or not. There is so much noise on the internet that eventually you become numb to it. It's like, honestly, just
shut up your mouth, Obama.
That's how I feel. Wallahi, it's just so much noise. Some guy said he emailed Sheikh Asim al-Hakim about me. I've actually got the snapshot on my phone before he deleted the comment. And apparently Sheikh Asim al-Hakim has refuted me. Sheikh Asim al-Hakim knows my channel. And then what was the response of one guy? Oh, but Sheikh Asim al-Hakim has been refuted. Bro, please. Well, this is all noise, man. This is noise. Take the good, leave the bad. If you don't like it, go watch something else. Why are you here, bro? And what? Have you not got something to do? Go. Handle your life, seriously. If I'm annoying you that much, if Abuamerican Coach Kareem is annoying you, I don't know, do something.
What I call it, outrage porn, man. They love it. They need it. That outrage porn.
I got it. He's saying that I have a video that called Red Flag, and in the thumbnail says do not date this woman. So he assumed that I'm talking about dating. No.
Okay.
Red flag. Do not marry this woman by me saying it.
Yeah. As we know, the brother's main language is not English, so you have this is one of the beauties of Islam. You're supposed to have husnul dhan. If you can interpret something two ways, then you're supposed to pick the best of the two. And if you can't find an excuse, then say maybe he had some sort of excuse, and I don't know what it is, or he had a reason for whatever else it is. Husnul dhan. Have it, brothers, please. I'm gonna do one last comment, and then inshallah we'll call this show. Where is it? I just saw it. Someone asked me to do dating videos.
I have more clips, by the way.
Yeah, clips was one thing, and the brother said, can I make some dating videos, since I'm talking about wives and whatnot. I don't know, bro. There it is right here. Honor Akram, Barakallahu Feek, you've been a long time follower, and I've seen your comments quite a few of my lives. I'd like to, but I've gotten so much false accusation, lies, and hates from the community, and I am part of the Muslim community. That I've actually that's why I've drawn back, and I make very general videos right now, because it's just it doesn't bother me, but at the same time, it's just do I need all this? You know what I mean? I mean, really, I'm going to go on a quick rant here. Do you guys mind?
Go for it, Akhi.
I've actually got what I want, and alhamdulillah, things are getting better for me significantly, alhamdulillah, financially. Just some really big news I hope to drop to you guys here in the next few days. Real world changes for me. My marriages are just, mashallah. As many times as I've been married, these are the best I have. I am married
You're
to
loyal to
No, I'm down to two, but I've married these two, and Ling Ling, mashallah, I got another wife. These women are just, and we have a good relationship. I could really walk away from this right now. I could just leave brothers hanging. I could walk away. I try and help my younger brothers because I don't want you guys going through what I went through, but it's kind of I get a lot of stress, and I'm not sure why, because I'm just trying to help people, but I'm honest, and honest to a fault, as they say, and people use that as an attack instead of taking the information and finding a way to implement for themselves so that they don't make mistakes that I do. So I'm not really sure I want to do that, man, because the moment I talk about dating my wife or whatever else, people are going to freak out and start saying, oh, Abuamerican blah 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 with his wife, you went to the lake with his wife, and then somehow someone will find something haram in taking your wife to the lake. So I'm not really sure, man, because I'm very open about my life already. And so now when I talk about the things that I do with my wife or whatever else, alhamdulillah, we keep it sound, we keep it good. Someone's going to find a way to make it bad because people. So I don't know, man. I'd love to, but yeah, guys really made it rough out there.
Well, I'll say to you this, it's from the Muslims who are doing this. I've actually frequently referred some individuals who have asked for consultations with me. I've actually moved them on to you sometimes, because I said to them, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, I do not possess the experience or knowledge to talk on this, but I know who does. And from a perspective of not just seniority in age, but also experience, Akhi, you're the most qualified to talk about this. You are living it every single freaking day. You have two wives under one roof. You know, it's not a joke. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you straight, Akhi Abuamerican. I wouldn't do that. Yani, you've got, mashallah, you've got a seriously, the cojones are very big, mashallah. I wouldn't do that. But this is why the brothers in particular who are considering going down that route of polygyny and so on and so forth, they need to understand, how do I do it properly? You know, this whole business of game. I told you before, I'm not good with cocky funny. It's not something I'm good at. I wish I was, and I hope to improve it. I'm not good with it, but I know it's effective. You see, we need to hear from people who are effective with it, who are good with it, who can teach it. So I would implore you, yani, regardless, inshallah ta'ala, mashallah, barak, of your situation privately, your financial situation, I would implore you and asking you as your younger brother as well, please do continue, because even I learn from you. I know people look to me like, I'm learning from you, Akhi. And Coach Kareem likewise as well. I've learned a lot of things from you, Coach Kareem, from a Shari'i standpoint of how you mingled the two together. So both of you, regardless of what goes on in your financial situation, please carry on. Jazakumullah khair.
Yeah, sorry, I'm talking.
There's a brother here, Moon Qamar, was asking me a question. He says, I spoke to you and a Muslim woman leaving the deen for feminism, hypergamy on Twitter Space. Also, 80% of ethnic young Muslim boys are going black pill. Answer this, brother. So
that's from, man.
Okay, 80% of ethnic young Muslim boys are going black pill. I don't believe 80%. They are very tiny percentage of black pillars in our community in the Arab world. Very tiny percentage. Like, what do black pill do to people? Like, they are nihilistic and miserable and losers. So when they become black pillars, they will be acknowledged losers. So the only difference between them is he's nihilistic loser, ignorant. So he will be acknowledged nihilistic loser, nihilistic loser. So just the ignorance is the jump between being ignorant nihilistic and knowledgeable nihilistic, or knowledge nihilistic. That's it. But like the 80%, I believe, no, that's a lot. No, it will never be 80%. Like, they are less than 1% of the population. Maybe some desperate guys here and there, like just tweeting on Twitter, but it will never be that. I'm talking about, okay, I spoke with you, okay, Muslim woman leaving the deen for feminism hypergamy. I'm not sure if that question, or you're just stating that we took there. I totally forgot. But if you said that, like, if you mean that some women do leave deen for feminism, yeah, some women do that. It is very tiny percentage, like relatively, because a lot of them, when they like the vast majority of them, when you explain that there's a contradiction between Islam and feminism, and you say why, and explain it to her, she will get back. Like, the vast majority will get back. Some of them will keep going to the atheism. Yeah, never mind. Look, planet will never be full of Muslim 100%. That will never happen. Kuffar, misbeliever, and other people will be there. So do not feel sorry about someone is leaving Islam. Islam is 1.8 billion. He does not need extra one, or it will not be. There will not be disaster if we lost one. So who want to leave for feminism? Let him leave. Allah سيحاسبه. God will judge him. Leave it. You can't. لأنك لن تهدي من أحببت. You can never force hidayah to everyone. Some of them will leave. Let them leave, ya akhi.
There you go. Guys, hour and 40 minutes basically. I think we're gonna wrap this up. Barakallahu feek for tuning in. Anybody want to drop anything? You guys got something going on? Anything you guys want to announce? Whatever else?
Have the short of Muhammad Hijab that we should, if you see the second one. If
you want to do that real quick?
Yeah, it is 60 seconds.
Okay, hold on. Oops, dang. Oh, what? That was an accident. I want to remove the one clip, and I guess I removed him. Oh, Hopefully he comes back. Hold on, let me hit him up on whatchamacallit. That was an accident. That was embarrassing. Sorry, guys. I accidentally removed Coach Kareem. That was not on purpose. Hey, bro. Sorry about that. Come back into the same link. There he is. Okay. Sorry about that. That was a complete accident, bro.
No, that's okay.
Okay. There we go.
Here's Muhammad
Okay,
Hijab
so
video.
let me
You got
add
it?
that to the stream. There we go. Okay. It's coming up. It's still spinning on my screen, though. It's like it's lagged. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, let's start.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Some people ask the question, is red pill somehow compatible with Islam? Some gender bias.
This question is wrong from the beginning. It is the same as you asking, is car compatible with Islam? Is jacket compatible with Islam? Is phone compatible with Red pill is a tool. It is a set of tools. The tools itself, it can't be compatible or not. It is tool. You can't say using a knife is haram. It depends on how you use it. So the knife itself can't be haram. How do you use it? So the conclusions of some red pillars can be haram, and some of them, which is preferably is if they are Muslim, will be great. Okay, because we know the lines, we know the red lines about Sharia, we know the red lines such as zina. So you can't answer this question. If I was in your shoes, Muhammad Hijab, I'll tell him this question is wrong because you're asking about set of tools. You can ask me about the outcomes of red pillars, not the tool itself. You have anything, guys, to add?
I did a whole video on this, man. I lost my cool on this one. I'm gonna try and stay calm now. I'm just here holding my breath, like.
Okay.
Men within Islam who do not put Quran and Sunnah first may try to suggest this, but this is absolutely false. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the Quran, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا.
Yes, that's right. And that means literally that today the deen, the religion is perfect. So we're not getting to replace Islam. That will be stupid, right? And we all, look, you're talking about Muslim red pillars. The all Muslim red pillars is here, by the way, on this line. The all Muslim red pillars is here.
Absolutely.
We are in this line. The all red pill Muslim in the social media is those three, me and these two guys. So do not put words on our mouth shaming. Let us continue.
Today I've completed your religion and I have perfected my favorite upon you, and I've made Islam, I've ordained Islam as a religion for you. Besides nothing else in order to complete it. It is a perfect moral system. Nothing which is prescribed.
It is perfect moral system. Yes, morals in the red pill. There is no moral code in the red pill. So there's no moral references. That's why you will find two different outcomes from two red pillars while they are using the same tools. But one of them is an atheist and one of them is Muslim who's living in a Muslim society. So we have different outcome. We have different prescription, different vices for the people because we are living by different set of rules, Muhammad Hijab. That should be clear, ya akhi. Ya akhi, I thought you really
Prescriptive and moral needs to come into Islam in order to perfect it or complete it. And those so-called red pill Muslims are, I would say, actually traversing towards that direction, or the implication that Islam is in need of completion. So you have to think twice.
There is no single Muslim red pillar says that Islam is incomplete. Nobody of us said it. Did you say anything such as Islam is incomplete, guys? So you are ignorant or you're lying on purpose, Muhammad Hijab. That should be clear.
Before you call yourself a red pill Muslim, because you are going in the same direction as feminist Muslims have gone into, a gender biased direction where you require grievances to be solved outside of the Islamic framework.
Okay, I'm done with that. But by the way, Islamic agenda, feminism have agenda. Red pill as a set of tools do not have agenda. There's no agenda. There's no regulation. There's no secret book that we share our three without nobody's knowing about, like, this conspiracy theory. There's no such things, you idiot. Really, there's no agenda. They just set of tools. We use it to understand human behavior and psychology, and we give men, out of our experience and knowledge, men advices based on it in an Islamic frame. Keep it in your mind as an earring in an Islamic frame. That's it.
Yeah, it's like you said, though. You said it very appropriately. He's either lying or he's ignorant. And there's a famous saying: if he's lying, why are we listening? If he's ignorant, why is he speaking? It's a famous saying. So, so yeah, we're gonna close up here. Just a quick thing, guys. I don't want to jump the gun on this, but it has basically been, tentatively confirmed that the Muslim skeptic and I, Daniel Hakika Jew, I can't say his name to save my life, we will be live next week, inshallah. So
good.
That is coming. So we're speaking, we're working on the days and the times, everything, time zones, whatever else, but that is coming, inshallah, next week. So be on the lookout for that. Anything you guys want to announce? Anything going on before we go?
You guys know where to find.
Jazakumullah khair. It was my pleasure.
Yes, Jazakumullah khair. That was a dissection.
Inshallah. Redpillarabic.com, guys, who can read Arabic, like, you will find a bunch of blogs, articles on redpillarabic.com. My channel is in Arabic for who know Arabic content. It's called Red Pill Arabic also. My channel on Telegram, Red Pill Arabic also. Just write Red Pill Arabic, you will find me everywhere. Thank you, guys.
Barakallahu Feek Yusuf for the $10 super chat. As for me, Abuamerican.com. Check out shop if you want to learn how to vet women so you don't fall into the same traps that I did and same mistakes. Check it out right there. The vetting guide, Abu American, written by myself from my experiences, which are quite extensive, and cowife.com. If you're looking for a wife monogamously or polygynously, if your wife wants to put up a profile for you, get that social proof, you can go there. Also, sisters, if you're looking for a husband monogamously or polygynously, I know some of y'all sisters are really into those guys. They got other wives. So, if you're looking for that, or if you're looking for a monogamous husband, go there, sign up now. You can still get 30% off, inshallah, until the app launches. Barakallahu feek for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa